Windshield 1 bringing you high-definition video recording of Battlefield 3 multiplayer gameplay on the PlayStation 3. And this time giving you some tips on how to use a tank effectively. Most powerful vehicle in the game in terms of its main cannon, obviously. And this vehicle really gives me a headache some days when I'm running something other than an engineer class, whether it be an assault class, recon class, and a tank rolls up on me right in the middle of my glory. Having multiple kill streaks and just cleaning house with the team, and all of a sudden this tank rolls up on me. I'm just like, well, that's game over, because there ain't nothing you can do. You can run for the trees and try to get away from them, but 9 times out of 10 the tank's gonna take you out, and there's just not a damn thing you can do about it other than get on a AT turret or something like that, or get in another vehicle, or run an engineer class, which means you're gonna run a completely different range of weapons, which may not be the best grouping of weapons based on the map. Tank's a great vehicle, one of the strongest in the game next to the helicopter, but the good thing about the tank is that people don't spawn camp the tank like they do. Ooh, wow, look at that shot. One shot and then a double kill. Ooh, yes sir. I don't know how I take out an M1 Abrams with one tank shell. Maybe it was damaged already, but I think I do it later in the match here. But sometimes if you place that shell just the right place, you can take out an enemy tank, even head-on where they have the most armor. You can take out one shot if you get just the right place. But as I was mentioning earlier, people don't spawn camp the tank like they do the helicopter. I don't know how many times I've played with noobs, and they're just sitting there next to the helicopter waiting for it to respawn so they can hop in it and crash 30 seconds later or get shot down because they don't know how to fly it or they don't have anything unlocked for it. And man, that really frustrates the hell out of me, but that's a whole other video. I encourage you to watch my video about how to fly the helicopter and utilize it correctly. That's my helicopter tips video. But back to the tank here. You want to use terrain to your advantage, like I am here. I'm using zoom optics, as you can see. I think that's my favorite attachment for this vehicle. I even prefer it over the thermal imaging. The thermal imaging is unlocked after the zoom optics, and of course gives you a thermal heat signature of all enemies, but I find the zoom optics much more accurate because you can actually zoom in, unlike the thermal scope. You can't zoom in with the thermal scope. You can zoom in here and get long range shots, which is the main advantage of the tank, and that's the main use of the tank. The tank should be used for long range tactical engagements with other vehicles or artillery type support, or taking it out buildings. You don't want to run the tank and get close to buildings where a guy can run out with an RPG and take you out, or you don't want to get close to another tank where maybe he'll have supporting infantry around him that have RPGs. I mean, RPGs are your enemy in this game, and the tank, they'll take you out real quick, especially when they get a few RPG shells behind you. But you see that airplane strafing me right there? The key thing you want to do with the tank is move. If you're sitting a duck, if you're sitting down, I don't know how many times I take out tanks in an airplane or a helicopter, another tank, and then it's just sitting there like a duck. It's so much easier to take out if you're just sitting there. You always want to move, even if you don't know, or if you can't shoot an enemy, just keep moving. That's your main advantage. Your main, look at that, one shot, boom, again, vehicle disabled. I don't know how I was doing that. Those were just lucky shots. But I have the coaxial light machine gun equipped here that allows me to quickly switch to that pretty long range machine gun that takes out infantry really quickly, especially if you get a piece of them with the turret itself, an indirect hit that is. You can see this tank's hitting me. I'm going to move. I'm not going to sit there and let him finish me off. I'm going to make him move towards me as well. Much more difficult to drive a tank and fire simultaneously, as opposed to just sitting there like a duck. You're just a big fat target there. So use terrain to your advantage. Keep moving. Stay away from infantry, stay away from confined areas where you can get flanked by infantry, and stay out in the open. It's just pretty easy to do on this map, but if you're playing, like Cyan Crossing, that's pretty tough in the tank in that map, because you're going to have mines, you're going to have RPGs, guys on windows everywhere, so I don't really recommend the tank on that match, unless you got somebody in the map that's, doing aerial reconnaissance for you. Here, in this position, I'm going to push up to position Alpha, and you'll see how quickly a tank can turn. That you get in the tide of a match instantly. I mean, this match just started, and I get up here in this position where I know the enemies will be coming up with their vehicles, or their closest. This is basically the closest flag to their spawn point, and if they're not smart, they're not gonna run. They're not running engineer classes, and they're gonna pay for that dearly. You know, and if you take the flag and conquest, the first one off the bat, that pretty much sets the tone for the rest of the match. Take out this armored personnel carrier here. Look at this kill here for a second. Disable. This guy hops out. Look at this. Boom! I mean, that guy just flew up like 10 feet. I mean, the physics in this game are just unbelievable. I mean, little details like that in this game just make me like, you know, when I see that live action, I'm like, did I really just see that? I mean, it just makes you laugh, and you're like, this game is just incredible. Little details like that just make this game so much fun to play. I mean, this is one of the small little things that you just notice when you play this game. This by far the best game I've ever played. But back to the commentary, you see they took out their LPV as well. Long shot there, got it in the ass, and that's all it took. Basically 2 shots and it's done. Stop that dead in its track. Back to Firestorm here, approaching position Bravo now. Got a tank, a long-range engagement. Again, keep your distance. If he doesn't have zoom optics, if he wants to run something else, he's going to lose every time. So keep your distance and then push up to the position. And my teammate here does this correctly. He's in the other tank. He pulls in out of sight of the main road right here, which is a very good tactic. I was impressed by that, because right here where I'm sitting is probably not an ideal spot, because I'm basically bait for an airplane strafing or the jet to come by. I mean, you want to use cover like that anytime you possibly can in the tank to ensure your survivability. And that's, again, at this point in time, I survived through it. You know, it was no problem. But again, that's not good strategy on my part. See a couple guys running. Anytime you see infantry running around, try to get a cannon shell somewhere around them and then fish them off with the machine gun. If you didn't know this already, if you don't have a machine gunner in your top turret on 50 caliber, you can switch that position by hitting the X on your controller, and you can use a machine gun to shoot infantry or helicopters, whatever you want. But you obviously can't drive the tank at the same time. Now at this position on Charlie, we're pushing up to you. Somebody spotted that tank before I saw it, and that gave me a huge advantage there. Just those few seconds of me giving a heads up, knowing where that tank is, or that there was a tank out there, gave me a huge advantage, and I took that guy out. And then push up here on the flank of these tanks. You can see how quickly you can take out a tank. If you get a shot on the side, you can just finish it off basically in one shot from behind. If you get behind it and disable it, it's done. So again, guys, if you're not in vehicles and you see airplanes or helicopters, tanks, always spot it, even if you don't think anybody's around it. That helps out so much whenever you're in a vehicle. I can't even emphasize that enough, how much that helps. I mean, just for that split second, that gave me a huge advantage. Right here, I'm getting hit. I don't know where. I'm like, okay, now I see him. So I use this semi as cover. I get up behind it, zoom in, and now he basically can't. I have a very small section exposed, which he can't hit, and I have a huge advantage here. Now it's a longer range engagement, so I have to account for drop of my shell just a little bit. I'll show that here in a second more. But long range engagements with the tank, you got to use, you got to account for bullet drop of your shell over long range distances. Another aspect of the DICE engine, which is just amazing to me, how they incorporate such realistic physical attributes to long range sniper shots or tank shells like this. Amazing amount of program involved in such detail. Right here comes a long range shot. The bullet drops and hits this tank, and it disables it instantly. I'm like, wow. I mean, these aren't guided shells, guys. I don't know how I'm getting those hits, but the only reason I'm able to make these shots is because somebody spotted that tank, and kind of gives me an idea, and so I just kind of roughly estimate the distance and the bullet drop and just start shooting. And you get lucky every now and then. I mean, as you've seen in my lucky video before, I mean, I took out a jet with a tank shell once. Apparently, well, everybody's saying they can do that now, but I was pretty impressed with it when I did it for the first time. It was the first time I've seen anybody do it. So this video is coming to a conclusion, guys, but again, I want to hit the main points of tank strategy is keep moving, keep your distance, try to avoid head-on engagements like I'm unfortunately demonstrating right now. But I got a little aggressive here because I was feeling pretty good after making those shots. Avoid mines, RPGs, be an engineer class, make sure you repair your tank when you can. Other than that, use it effectively. It's a very powerful vehicle. Also, in the patch I've mentioned, or they just patched this, and you can spot mines now. If you see mines, spot them so your tanks can blow them up, or other people can. One other thing I want to mention is that they've nerfed the infrared attachment sight on the guns, which is probably a good thing. It was really powerful, but unfortunately they didn't nerf the stupid tactical light. That's such a noob attachment. If you kill me with that, I'm going to talk trash on you, because they just need to get rid of that stupid tactical light. It's still way too overpowered. One last kill here with the tank, again on the flank, and then fish him off from behind every time. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you liked the video. Got more to come for you.